Hello everyone, welcome back. This is my first project for September for Kitaholic Kids, and I'm starting off with a 12 by 12 layout. I was really inspired to use the cover page of the Pinkfresh paper pad or paper pack that we got in the kit this month, and I thought it would be really fun to incorporate all those different colors and layer the larger paper using a punched out heart over those tiny little squares. But I obviously didn't want to have any of the Pinkfresh logo and the title of the collection and all that. So I cut that off, and I'm actually just going to stick that onto this blue stripy paper. And to create a bit of space between the blue paper and all of the little grid squares, I'm just using a little strip of vellum because I thought it broke it up a little bit because it was at risk of being a bit busy for me. And then on top of that, I decided to take some chipboard, and I'm going to stick that entire piece on using some chipboard to give it a tiny bit of height. Now, this isn't a particularly big chipboard, but it does create just like a tiny little bit of dimension. I do later on, when I punch out all the hearts, which you'll see me do, I do create a bit of more dimension there. So I didn't want this to be too thick and too high because I just thought it might look a bit strange. So I am using my glue to glue this on. I just think it's better than using tape runner. And then I'm going to stick it on. Now, this particular layout is all photos that we had printed at a photo booth at a wedding recently. So I work with a bunch of amazing girls and we run markets. And so one of our store holders actually got married, and we were invited to the wedding, and we were so excited to go, and we all got dressed up, and we all sat in the house together, and we took 1,000 photo booth images. But yeah, so I got so many during the night, and I wanted to use them, and they were quite small. And when I saw those little squares, I thought, I'm going to cut all of these photo booth images. I didn't even use the half of them, honestly, we have so many. But I thought I'm going to use my favorite ones to kind of take, and I'm going to cut them into squares. I'm going to stick them on the layout. Now, in terms of where I'm placing these, I'm trying to place them really over the papers, that if they are the large scale papers, it would be hard to kind of grab just one element of that paper. So I'm putting them over the cut apart papers and over the papers that have really large elements. I also have these little labels that I got in a sticker book that Steph kindly sent my way, and I am using them over, again, the more larger font or larger image and icon papers, and also over the paper that I use in this kit because I didn't actually get a punched out star for this particular paper, so I couldn't use that. So that's why that is the case. And then I am just taking a star. Now, this star fit, it just happened to be that my punch fits perfectly within those little squares. And so I'm just using this punch to cut out a little, I say star, I meant heart, obviously, to cut out a little heart of every single paper in the kit, except for a few which I want to use in another layout, and then you'll see down the track what I do with those. Now it is time to stick my photos down. I didn't want to create too much for everything to be on propped up dots. So what I'm doing is I'm sticking my photos flat onto the paper, and then the hearts will be lifted off the paper, sorry. I'm also taking some stickers from the little sticker book there, and I am going to stick them on a few of these squares, but I again wanted them to have a bit of more dimension, and I'm using that same chipboard that I used to put the base onto the backing paper. Usually when I do this kind of thing, I'm very strict with myself about where I put the photos and where I put the embellishments and where I put everything. But in this particular instance, I wanted to be intentionally not consistent. So there's no real rhyme or reason to where I'm putting the photos. And because I did that and I sort of didn't think too much about it, it actually scatters across the page a little bit well, and that was totally unintentional. But like I said, I was more focused on covering up specific papers or specific squares versus where my photos go. So there's a bit more heaviness on the top right hand corner, but I don't really mind that. And now I'm going in, and I wanted these hearts to be really distinctive from the backing paper, and so I am just using a dash border, a line border, and a little circle border along each one of these hearts, so that there is a distinction. I'm also going to use foam dots, which you'll see in just a second, to stick them onto the page to create that beautiful dimension that I was talking about before. But I felt like it just needed a little extra, and I also wanted to bring a little bit more of the black in, because my photos, the background is completely black, and so this is quite a pastel layout, and so I felt like it needed more black to sort of kind of ground it and to make it all look like it's one layout rather than really just a bunch of papers that's completely got nothing to do with each other. Anyway, that was a bit of a weird tangent. So I'm sticking those love hearts down. I like how they look. I'm leaving my journaling till the very end. And then I lost the footage for some... I think I was just busy talking and I forgot to press record. And so I just wrote Wedding Time using the foam thickers alpha that we got in this kit this month. And so I am just flagging those with those clear gold stickers, gold leaf stickers. Then adding my journaling. I had a lot to say, so I'm glad I had 3 areas of journaling. Adding a little phrase sticker on the top of each of those pieces of journaling, and then I'm gluing them down. And then I'm going to add the date, and then I believe this layout will be done. It was so fun to create this one. And I think there's a lot of different things you can do using different punched out stars and so forth. So I really enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me. Bye.